Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at a video from a DOTERRA Hun. DOTERRA is an oil MLM fringe from Young Living. How funny is that? Anyways, let's just get right into it because this is a little bit of a doozy.
So I posted on my Instagram stories yesterday about wanting to just jump on live this morning, just talking a little bit about network marketing, opportunities, things like that. So I'm going to be speaking to anyone that's interested in what network marketing looks like, potentially other people that are in other network marketing companies that follow. I just want to jam kind of on this topic a little bit because it's definitely a topic that still today has like a pretty big taboo. I mean, I'm in groups and people will ask for suggestions, like community groups, and someone will say like, use this product, and then someone always comments underneath, just to let you know, it's an MLM.
But it's not taboo. MLMs are just bad and people know it. So it's okay to not be interested in MLMs.
A lot of multi-level marketing companies have fantastic products, like my oils, right? Like they're amazing, amazing products. But because it's sold through somebody that's within that business model, then it sometimes makes it be like, oh, well, I don't think I want to use those products because, I mean, I'm supporting an MLM. Exactly. So are corporations. So I wanted to talk about this topic because I post about oils. I love my oils, but yes, the model of business that doTERRA and a lot of other products that I love is a multi-level marketing model. And I just wanted to kind of break down some stuff about this, okay? So before I started doing doTERRA, that was about 7 years ago when I jumped in the business, 8 years ago when I started using their essential oils. I too had like a pretty naive idea of it. I'd had a couple touch points with people, mostly jumping into my DMs, trying to sell me something that I hadn't really had a conversation about, or telling me I needed a program, or I was in a postpartum stage, so potentially I was getting messages about how to bounce back and use certain products or programs. I get it, okay? There's people out there that don't necessarily respect the whole boundary system of people in general, right? They're excited, they just start a new company, they're wanting to start creating this opportunity for themselves. Some upline tells them, message every single person that you know and tell them what you're doing. And honestly, I have never, ever been attracted to that model. And it's not something I've ever done, and it's not something I ever will do because it doesn't work. Because I've been on the receiving end of it, and basically
it does work, just not as well.
Delete, I don't know you, I don't want to do this. What I love about this model is if you're genuinely, authentically sharing, there's a genuine, authentic opportunity here for you, right? For me, for example, I used my oils for an entire year before jumping into doTERRA because I didn't want anything to do with the business side because I was like, MLM's not really for me, but I love the product, and I used it for a year. And for a year, people would come over and I'd be making them rollers and putting oils on them, and then be like, how do I get my own oils? And I remember kind of sitting with, well, I don't know, how do I get you your own oils? And I was in a stage of life where I had 4 kids, 5 and under. But I was starting to feel a bit more space and that I wanted to do something for myself. I just didn't really realize what that looked like. I didn't even realize the desire that I had to do that. So I decided to dive into this opportunity, dive into the oil side, because I knew so many people needed and were asking me what I was doing, and I wanted to share that with people. So that is why I decided to start doing it, starting to educate. And even in these spaces, these 2 spaces, my heart is just to educate, to give you education, to tell you what we're using. And if it's something that you're curious about and you want to do that too.
Yeah, she might genuinely be here to educate, but it's educating from one side. It's educating with only the positives about her company and her team and her products.
Then by all means, ask me and I will help you, or just continue to watch and learn. I really am not attached to the outcome, okay? So, started the business and it grew exponentially. It grew much bigger than I thought. I started this business with a goal of making $1,000 a month. I thought that'd be pretty awesome to add $1,000 to the month so we could go on more trips as a family. And to cover, we had moved homes, and our previous home had a rental in the basement that we were making $1,000 for, and I was like, wouldn't that be cool if I made $1,000 a month and just changed that with like a hobby, a passion that I loved? And it quickly changed into something different. Now here's where I want to talk a bit about network marketing opportunities, stuff like that. If you are on the fence and you're like, I love this, but I don't know. Everyone I know is selling essential oils. Everyone I know is selling shampoo. Everyone I know is selling makeup. Everyone I know is selling blah, 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 blah. I can promise you that everyone you know is not doing it.
Okay, but it's enough people that you feel like you don't belong in that space, or you're just not interested in doing it, which is perfectly natural and normal.
A lot of times we're like, oh, I want to do this, but I didn't get in the beginning. The market's too saturated, whatnot. Guys, the opportunity is there because the opportunity is you. Okay, you are going to look completely different in this than the person beside you. Even if your neighbor sold it, what her business looks like, what your...
Probably not, because all you guys really morph into one. Whatever the general look that the company likes is what they're going to put forward. It's who they're going to market to. And that's going to have a trickle down effect. And then people are going to emulate that person. So they kind of will all turn to the same people.
Business looks like, how you share, how she shares, is going to look completely and utterly different. Okay, so sometimes we get so caught up on like saturation, but if it's something you love and something you're passionate about, why not just give it a shot? Okay, because I can tell you that eventually it's going to grow, and it's going to keep growing the more that you're pouring into it, and it's not going to be every single person you know. If I started my business under the assumption that I don't know enough people, and that everyone I know is just gonna buy it and then that's it. Guys, I didn't know that many people. I was a stay-at-home mom. But eventually it starts to grow because people start talking. If you give a great customer experience, someone's going to start talking to a friend or a coworker or a cousin, and that's where the networking part starts to grow, right? It's not this like we get caught in being like, well, I don't know enough people. Well, it's not about you knowing enough people. It's that your influence and your impact that you're making on the people that you do know continues.
Yes, it is, because you have something called a warm market and a cold market. Cold market is people that you haven't build a relationship with you on your social media. And your warm market is your friends and family you have at this present moment who you think you can get to buy from you or join your team. Once you run out of those people though, now probably all you have left is your cold market, but you need to butter them up first so you don't come off right away as a money hungry Hun. That, my dears, is called manipulation, because the end goal is to get a paycheck from them.
Use to get the word out, and it continues to grow. A lot of people too are like, oh, get in this company, get in the beginning. Like, you have to start it now, right? doTERRA's been around for 12 years now, right? People are like, oh, the opportunity is not as hot because if you get in sooner, you're at the very top. Yes, if you get in sooner, is there some people that started when like some of these network marketing companies started right at the beginning? Is there some people that are super successful because they got in at the beginning? Yes, there is. I'm going to be completely honest about this. But there's also some people at the top that do not do anything and they collect a paycheck. And that's a really crappy part about the model. But I've had lots of employers that make a ton of money too, and they also don't do anything, and all the employees do the work for them, right? We've got to stop comparing, oh, well, only in this model this happens, and only in this model this happens, and it's a pyramid. There's someone at the top, there's this. Guys,
we are going to compare it because it's all of these things happening in the MLM model at the same time. They're not separate instances. They're being locked together. That's why they have been compared to cults, because all together, in my opinion, kind of fits the bill. Not because of just one thing.
Like corporations, companies, there is a president, there's a vice president. There are people in all the levels. Let's stop saying that multi-level marketing is the only one that has this size of model. And I don't choose to see it this way because...
Who's saying that? I don't think anybody's saying that, dude. Like, where'd you hear that? People in your MLM? Yeah, go figure.
Each person has their own business. So if you want to make it a pyramid, let's say it's multiple triangles all over your entire organization, because your business is your business, okay? It's not
your business. You have the rights to sell the products. and earn a paycheck off of that. That's it. It's not your business, because it can be snatched from you at the drop of a hat once they see you doing something that they don't like. I keep thinking, oh, why did I put this on? It was on clearance. It was this Crayola one, and I just wanted to try it because it looked like a fun color, and I bought it, so now I feel like I have to wear it, but I hate wearing makeup because I can feel this one on my lips.
Oh, I'm gonna get in and make all my little minions work for me, or getting in and saying, okay, I'm gonna be successful if my upline does this, this, this. It is your business, and your success in this is completely and utterly up to you and what you're willing to invest.
No, because I invested everything I possibly could, and it still didn't pay back at all. That is part of what my goal with this channel is to accomplish what I thought I was going to accomplish in my MLM, which was helping people, finding people who think similarly to me, not completely the way I think, because that's boring. I don't want to live in an echo chamber. It's okay for people to disagree with me, hopefully as long as it's semi-respectful at the very least. And now kind of set the record straight
in this. Okay, so a lot of times too, people are like, oh, I get in. I mean, I've had people come into this business and think that they're just going to sign up a bunch of people that are going to do the business for them. And it doesn't work, because they aren't doing the business, because they're reflecting the model of their leader who's not doing anything. People are going to come and go from this, right? It is not a get rich quick scheme. Even if you get into a multi-level marketing company at the very...
Yeah, but that's the way Huns portray it when they're posting about their weekly bonus checks. Okay, well, if you can make money in a week and you're all like, oh, I can work from anywhere, anytime, in just an hour or two a day, this job works around me. I don't work around the job. And you wonder why people think this when they sign up. Not a mystery.
Very beginning, it's not a get rich quick scheme, because eventually everything starts to even out, right? Everything starts to kind of even out with every single company. There is a huge, when it's growing, right? If it's a really great product, and then it starts to even out. New markets, right? I'm super excited that doTERRA is like launching in India and launching in other companies. And I know some of my friends in multi-level marketing too are like launching, their companies are launching in other markets, which is amazing, and amazing opportunities for them. But I don't want to disregard the fact that there's still opportunity right here in your community, in your neighborhood, with what it is that you are wanting to do. Okay, so sometimes we're like, oh, like I missed the boat. But if you still love the product and you still want to share it with people, you didn't miss the boat. You just haven't started yet. So I wanted to just kind of talk a little bit about some of these things, because I know a lot of people that are like, I love the product, I love my oils, but it's just not going to be for me because there's too many people that are doing it. But there's not anyone else that is you that is out there doing it, okay? Also, a lot of these companies are like, you haven't hit success in your multi-level marketing company unless you make $1 million a year, unless you have this, unless you do this, unless you A, B, and C.
Now, I would say if you want to be called successful in network marketing, you have to have a team that is mostly active, not people you're just stacking under. Making more after breaking even, so much so that it's replacing whatever your job was before or paying for whatever you needed to pay for, and being able to breathe, not being extremely stressed. I would say that's probably labeled as success, like a basic baseline of success.
This opportunity is for every single person at whatever level you want to invest in it. If you want to make a couple, like 500 extra a month, that is your success. If you are wanting to make 1,000 extra, 2,000, 5,000, what does that look like for your family? That is still $5,000 a month, could still have an insane impact for so many people's lives, and what that looks like. And sometimes we enter into these opportunities with this like vision that, oh, I'm going to make like $1 million a year within this shorter time period. And it's not necessarily always going to happen. Like 1 or 2% of
who's even thinking that. And also 5,000 would be life-changing for most people. An extra 5,000 a month would be life-changing for me and my family. I would love that. That'd be great. However, I'm not going to join MLM to do that, because we know better, don't we, guys? That most people don't make 5,000 extra a month.
People are hitting these markers in the company. And I'm not being discouraging and saying it's not available to everybody. It is. But I want to also focus that there is success in all of it, okay? Celebrating all the successes. I have celebrated every single time I hit something. Okay, I made $1,000 a month. I was so excited to show my husband that paycheck that I made $1,000 a month. I was so impressed with myself that I was raising 4 children. I was like deep in motherhood. I found something I loved and it paid me $1,000 that month. I remember just being so elated, guys. So when it comes to your company and your business, what is it that you are wanting to create, right? Because sometimes we come into this and people are like, yeah, I want to make, like, I see that number, I want to make $15,000 a month. Well, they don't put $15,000 a month action into their business, but they have an expectation that that's going to just happen for them. That's not how this works. It is still a job. It is still a business model. You still have to put in the work. No one is going to do it for you. So anyone that is curious or wanting to join, what is it that you want this to look like? How much time is it that you're wanting to invest? What would $5,000 a month look like? Would you be willing to put 3 or 4 years worth of work to make $5,000 extra dollars a month for the rest of your life? Or are you willing to put in like more time? Like there's like a huge oh, I lost my train of thought. Sometimes we think that like, oh, I only have to put in this much work and I'm expecting to have this kind of paycheck, but it doesn't work that way. It's an investment of time and then the paycheck. And a lot of times with these business models, the reason why the more time you're investing and then you start to make more income is that a lot of them have a residual based model, which means that you are creating community and you are selling products that people love, that start to become a lifestyle, and then they start to reorder those products because they love them, which I mean people would do from the store anyways, right? You go to Sephora, you find a mascara you love and you're gonna order that mascara.
Right, so why would you change it to an MLM product? Because they love to say, oh, it's doing what you're already doing. No, because you're not gonna get paid from doTERRA for sharing about your favorite mascara from Sephora. That's not how that works. Every single month for the rest of your life. It's kind of the same thing, right? Someone finds lavender, they love it, they can't live without it, they start to order it monthly, and then eventually that starts to build a residual income. And that is why sometimes people come into this thinking it's a get rich quick scheme, but it's not. You're building a community, you are building trust, you are building a customer base, right? You're building up your portfolio of manipulation tactics. That is what she meant to say. Teaching people to swap where they're buying products. For our company, a lot of times what I teach people is swapping where we're buying things, right? Instead of necessarily filling our cupboards with. Why not swap everything out in your house for products from your MLM? That wouldn't at all be culty. Advil and Tylenol and all the skin creams and all the things. I am teaching simplicity in how to swap your essential oils out for those things. So you're simply swapping where you're purchasing your things. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about network marketing, about opportunity here, break down some of those things. And I guess my point that I really want to drive home is it doesn't matter how old a company is. It doesn't matter how many people you know that are doing it. If it's something you are passionate about, just give it a try. Just tell other people. I mean, if you make an impact and change one person's life and you know that you did that, is that not an amazing, beautiful? No, because when I think about the people's lives I impacted while I was in an MLM, it wasn't necessarily in a positive way. And if I had to guess, it would be more in negative ways because MLMs are gross and the tactics I used and was taught were gross. Beautiful thing, right? You have no idea how much your impact is going to start to grow and change. When I started this, I was super uncomfortable in my skin. Still don't love necessarily this stuff. I'm much more comfortable behind the scenes. I love creating. But I had no idea like what was going to grow. I didn't know enough people to do the business with me. I was like, who's gonna actually want to like do this with me? I don't know. Like I'm just gonna keep trying. And it just continued to grow and it continued to beautifully evolve. But some of the amazing things that came along with it that I didn't realize were the friendships. Some of my closest friends are people that I get to do my work with as well. are those people who are your friends before, or did they come in only via the MLM? And I'm always curious to see when these Huns eventually get out. I like to think that most of them will. Did they make it out with those friendships intact? Because most of the friends I made in the MLM, we did not make it out with our friendships intact. Some did though, fortunately.
Friendships, it started to open up different possibilities for me, like really tapping back into like creativity and writing, which are things I love that I use in this opportunity. It's started to just open my eyes to things that I was able to do and accomplish. It allowed me to stay home with my kids, which for me was a really, really big piece. I knew that whatever I did for my work, I really, first and foremost, I'm a mom, and that was my heart, and it has allowed me to be able to have that role. I mean, there was a season where I was able to retire my husband from this. I had this dream and this goal of being able to have him leave his corporate job and be home with.
That would be so embarrassing. If I ever tried to tell my husband that I was going to retire him without him even being fucking interested in that, he would be so embarrassed. Imagine you're the husband of a Hun and you tell your coworkers that you're retiring because your Hun bot wife is making enough scamming people selling oils through an MLM that you can quit your job. I'm not saying that every man needs to feel that it is his job to provide, but a lot of men do, and that is very important to them, and I think that's fine. But it's a weird selling point that MLMers like to use. To me, I think it's weird because we do still live in a society where men are taught that they need to be the providers. My husband would not know what to do with himself all day if he was not at work.
With us, and I mean, this was a pipe dream. This was things that were on a board. I wanted to be able to send my kids to this amazing Christian school so that they would have the education that I really wanted. My kids go to that school and we love it. There was things that I had just thrown on a vision board randomly, like if these things happen, this would be like amazing. I'm kind of all over the place. Funny thing is though, is we evolve and we change. I had brought my husband home. I retired him for a year, and we both realized that that actually wasn't our dream. I couldn't handle having him home all the time. He couldn't handle being home all the time. The idea was that he would switch to some of the roles that I was doing. He did not love them, and to be honest, it wasn't a financial issue. I just didn't love the pressure of being the only provider for my family. It just wasn't, I didn't like that pressure to perform, and it kind of changed things for me within my business. So he went back to work. But the amazing thing is we had the opportunity to try it and to see if it worked.
And then imagine being a Hunbot's husband and crawling back to your job after a year. Oof, especially if your husband is established in his career, takes a year break, and how do you explain that to your next employer or your previous employer you want to go back to? Embarrassing.
For us, and it didn't. So what I want to say is you just never know the opportunities that this is going to open for you. And like I said, you don't have to start this with this like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I have to create this big thing. It's not like that, because that can feel very, very, very overwhelming. The opportunity looks however you want it to look. I mean, if you are sitting here and you have friends and family that are like coming to you and asking you about oils, what would it look like if you...
I just zoned out because probably what she was saying just then was uninteresting and unoriginal, as most of the things we hear. But I would like to add something funny enough. I am a sucker for someone with a kind voice and a kind appearance. I'm probably gonna believe it. I'm probably gonna believe it till they show me otherwise. Like, this girl seems so nice. I bet she gives great hugs. I love her voice. She's so gentle. I just has great energy. And I love that. I just wish she wasn't using it for her MLM.
Your oils were paid for, or whatever company you're with, if your product was paid for, what would that look like? What would that look like if it was maybe a couple extra $100 a month? What would that look like? In this season of so much uncertainty, what will these things look like? So I just want you to let you know that whatever company you are with, however long it's been, however many people are doing it, the opportunity is still alive and well. If you are in doTERRA, because I do essential oils, there's lots of doTERRA people obviously within this group, if you are doing doTERRA, I'm going to tell you there is big stuff on the horizon. doTERRA has this incredible medical board that is like making incredible, amazing discoveries, which is backing everything up with this beautiful science, with these studies, with clinical trials, which means that we continue to be brought into the mainstream as options for things that people are really hungry for. People are needing to hear about these natural solutions that they can use in their home. And in saying so, I'm not an all or nothing girl. If you know my family's story, you know that I am incredibly thankful for doctors and medical professionals. They've performed miracles on my family, performed miracles for my son. I'm not an all or nothing type girl, but I am saying if I can use something natural first, I'm absolutely gonna go that direction if it works. And there's amazing things on the horizon for doTERRA. If you have been doing doTERRA for a while and you are feeling like dry in your business and you're like, I just don't know if this is for me anymore.
Was that supposed to be a pun because it's an oil company? Feeling dry? I don't know if she sees what she did there.
Or you've created a team and through COVID, whatever has happened and you have leaders coming and going, I'm gonna tell you, leaders come and go. That is the flow of network marketing, okay? Some people will enter thinking that they're gonna like get rich quicker. This is just gonna grow for them, and it doesn't, and they fade. Or other people come and go for whatever reasons.
Okay, so I think that's enough of that. The rest of the video is extremely uninteresting. So I'm gonna let you off the hook early, my peeps. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. I would appreciate that, as it supports my channel and my ultimate goal of my anti-MLM agenda, which is to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can make more doing this than I ever did in my time in the alleged triangle-shaped business structure. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.